Yo, what's up, guys? It's day 5 right now, so I'm gonna do a day 4 review of how far I got. Also, a lot of people have been asking, it's like, oh, what should you gear on this monster, on this monster, on this Animus, on that Animus? So I'll go through a few of those as well. I did pull a few extra units over here with a Heinrich and a Mio. Haven't been working on them just yet. But let's first go through what I've done so far. So I'm currently level 33. Day is still about to start. I still have 20 of those, which is definitely a lot. I can still do all of my refreshes. I'll probably hit the 35. What I've been farming most, if I don't have to do the hyperlink charter, and most of the time you just focus hyperlink charter, but outside of the hyperlink charter, I always go into the shell dungeon. So I've been farming Whitney on Nightmare for the longest time. If you might ask, is it better to farm Whitney or Fabian the moment that you can clear both? You want to farm Whitney. Sure, Fabian does have better shells in there in general, but I farmed so much Fabian as well from level 23 to 28 that I pretty much had every shell like 30 times. Might you ask, like, okay, is there better drop rate for the training data in here? Yes, there is. So I did check Nightmare of Fabian towards Whitney normal or Whitney hard already gives you a 5% extra. And then going from Whitney Hard to Whitney Nightmare is another 5% extra. So it's always recommended to do the highest stage you can do if you're just farming for training data and Etheria coin, which is the main thing that I'm doing. I'm going to be super hard focusing on Nikonana the moment that Nikonana is released for me, which is maybe end of today, otherwise early tomorrow. Because I do want to get the White Fang for my damage dealers. I want to get Artisan for my Rahu. I want to get Gigabyte for also a bunch of units, and I do want to get the Alicorn as well. So pretty much the whole set of Nikonana will be used. Might you ask what team am I using mostly for farming? And I think I will also translate this towards the Nikonana stage. It's mainly something like this. And I think that this can probably also clear Nikonana. Sure, close is the wrong element, but she gets like a minus 50 accuracy based on that. I will probably have to boost her accuracy a little bit more, but we also have the accuracy reduction or the resistance reduction from the Marvel. So I think I might get away with it. If it doesn't work, I will bolt a Dion for a little bit, just make her 5-star or something, and then make it work in here, because I probably have to bolt a Leon regardless at some point. Anyway, so that was my game plan over there. Besides that, yeah, just farming a whole bunch on the shells. I do have an insane amount of training data left over, and also an insane amount of Etheria coins. So I have 4 million training data left over, because for the shells that I've been upping, I only upped 2 epic ones, and 1 I didn't even fully awaken. You have to do 2 because of the achievements. This one, the Twilight Knight, is really good. Definitely have been using that one a lot. And as you can see, I've been farming a whole bunch of shells. That's just the main thing that I'm farming. Every time I have to farm something, it's just shells, shells, shells. Haven't done too much into the GP outpost just yet, because if we go by the logic of the beta, then we should have a GP outpost double drop on Friday, double drop on the Animus EXP on Thursday, and double drop on the Threshold module drop on the Saturday. So not 100% sure if they're going to do that again, but that is the logic that they had last time. And I'm going to be doing a lot of GP outposts the moment that that is released. And that will also be the moment that I probably reset the Leon. So Leon is currently still at the shells, or like the double skill up that I did over here. Other skill ups that I did was, of course, the skill 3 and the skill 1 for the Marvel. Also managed to pick up the full Marvel. Also did manage to pick up the full Sanya -1, but I bought the one for 500 of that currency. And we got the Lily. Also, for some reason, for the life of me, I pulled 4 Lilies. Super random, but whatever. Skill 1 is fully maxed. I'm going to be working on skill 2 next. That is the game plan. Then also for other units that I have, well, I pretty much used the first 6 units you see here on the screen. I will be adding to the roster Messiah, Heinrich, and of course Mio, which Messiah already had for a while. Heinrich and Mio were picked up yesterday. So those will definitely be added into the roster. That also does mean that I don't have to focus as much on other units like her as much. I don't have to focus on a strip, which I was planning to do on Mia. But let me talk about some of the gearing that I did do on some of the units, because a lot of people are asking like, oh, what are your models on Leon? What are your models on Marvel? Something like that. So for Leon, I did go for an attack crit damage crit rate. I think it is better early to go for a double crit rate or a double attack crit rate. rather than crit damage, because you're not gonna have that much crit rate to work with the crit damage, unless you're using Gray in your typical team and you get the crit buff from that. Then it's a lot more interesting to go for the crit damage regardless. So modules also, I didn't really focus on modules of like plus 15ing all of them or anything like that, or trying to get any particular good stats on them, because I simply did not really farm any modules at all outside of the things that I had to do for Hyperlink Charter. Then we have, of course, the Twilight Knight on the damage dealer. So Leon, Twilight Knight. They will all be replaced by the White Fang from Nikonana, so I only went one. But all of my damage dealers would fit a Twilight Knight pretty much. Well, except Rahul. Rahul wants to get the Diamond Heart and then improved by the Artisan later. Lily is just speed contesting unit, bit of tankiness, accuracy is what you're focusing on. So that's also what we see over here, HP, HP, accuracy. We have a Swift Rush set completed with an Unbreakable. Unbreakable is not really something I focused on. It was just like, oh, the shell has Swift Rush and Unbreakable. If it was Swift Rush plus Cure, I would have went for Cure. If it was Wellspring, I would have went for Wellspring, just whatever. Also, this is just the unique shell, but she will be getting a Gigabyte later, and therefore I will start focusing on higher speed and also a higher speed roll in here the moment I have that Gigabyte. Then going into the Marvel, pretty much similar thing, a little bit more accuracy focused. Speed-wise, 93. The Lily is my fastest unit, so the Marvel comes after that. Also, once again, we have the similar style, defense, accuracy, accuracy, so preferably have HP in there. I think it works a little bit more, but as you can see, all of those things are not really that special, but you want to focus on accuracy, on speed, and a little bit of tankiness altogether. I did not make him a 6-star. I am not 100% sure if I will be making him a 6-star, because something that a few people did mention at some point is that the moment you go into Hell, the turn meter reduction is reduced by 30, and the moment you go into Inferno, it's reduced by 60. So I would say for Hell, you can probably use a Marvel. It's totally not that big of an issue. You can use your Leon. But the moment you hit the 60 reduction, that's where you get a lot of reduction. And it's the same thing for Aurora. So for that reason, I'm kind of holding off on maybe not making Marvel all the way to 6-star. But maybe I'll still do it because you get the base speed improvement, which is pretty good. So I use a close, so therefore I don't have to use a gray. If you would use a gray, I'll showcase gray or Dion in a second. Even if you use a close, you probably still want to get a Dion because the Dion has the right element. Also, for this one, the shell is also, once again, the star. He will get a Codex of Magic for sure all the way late game. But I think I might upgrade him to a Gigabyte as well, because I'm planning to do like 3 or 4 gigabytes regardless, because Gigabyte is just incredibly good. So, but I kind of have to look like, okay, what are the side stats for gigabytes that does make sense, where I can also translate them later to a support or anything like that. So yeah, these 3 are actually all using star, and that is the main thing for shells. Damage dealer shells, you want to give something of a damage or damage dealer characters, you want to give something of a damage improving shell. Characters that are just depending on their skills, so they have either a buff or a debuff, you always want to go for something like cooldown reduction. So we're using a whole bunch of star over here, or getting more turn meter, anything like that. So I have those on all 3. All 3 of them have maxed and awakened. Then for her modules, pretty much the same style. Swift Rush plus whatever I had on the side thing. Bit of speed, bit of accuracy. Could focus a little bit more on the accuracy, but maybe I'll get that soon anyways. Then we have the Sanya, which is healing from her max HP, so therefore you do want to get the 45% HP extra. You can give her a Cure as well. Cure gives the extra healing in the first place, but in this case, it's kind of doing the same thing. I did not really up her shells that much. I'm not using her an insane amount, I would say. But yeah, that's definitely what I would recommend to put on her. And she uses Reason, which is pretty much the lower value one of Supernova of later. So the moment you heal, you just heal a bit more and you get the healing over time and that kind of stuff. And as you mentioned, you do want to focus on her HP, so she is a triple HPer altogether. Also, therefore, this slot becomes more interesting because of the flat HP. Rahul, I've been focusing on a little bit. It was my main damage dealer for Doki Doki, because in Doki Doki I was using those 5 units rather than the Leon, because Leon, of course, doesn't really work that well in Doki Doki because of wrong element. We did have a Swift Rush in there, but it wasn't completed. I had to get a Unbreakable 2 and a Swift Rush 3, or a Swift Rush 2 to actually make the full set, but I didn't get those on that. Maybe I do have it by now, but I'm like, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Gonna be changing it anytime soon anyways. And also for the gear, it's not really that special, but I upped it a little bit more to 12 because he was actually a damage dealer in Doki Doki, and he made my Doki Doki runs, for that reason, a little bit better. Shell, as mentioned, is a defense scaling unit, so therefore you do want to get this defense scaling shell on it as well. Might you ask, like, what are the shells that I would recommend for Messiah? Damage dealing shells. Also, you want to probably go for Onslaught, Harvest, Battle Will, whatever you have, those kind of things. Heinrich is more kind of in the middle. You couldn't put him pretty fast towards Swift Rush. It's pretty good if he moves in front of your other damage dealers, but he is still kind of fine as kind of a self-damage dealer as well. But I wouldn't really say that he's a insane damage dealer. He's more of like a setup damage dealer rather than an insane damage dealer by himself. Mio is similar towards the ones that you have over here, just Swift Rush, fast, and cooldown reducers. Gray is actually an interesting one, and I did see a lot of people make this mistake. He is on critical hit, has additional chance for more damage, and then he gets the defense break. So you do want to get the crit in on Gray. So I would recommend a lot of people, sure, you get the 30 in by the skill itself, but you still have to get plus 60 on him then yourself. So I'm not really using Gray because I started using, or I got pulled a close pretty early on. But you would make sure that this is at least plus 60 extra. Otherwise, you're not really going to get anywhere. And that's just a big recommendation that some people do tend to miss out on. And I think that's mainly it. Like, sure, like if you go for a Victor, it's a damage set. If you go for the thing, he's actually a lot easier to build because his crit rate comes in here the moment he has the passive mark on something. And also, if you're overstacking the crit rate, he does do even more damage. So those are the kind of things. Dion, pretty much similar to the close. You can focus a little bit of damage on her, but early on, you just make sure that she lands the defense break because that's what she's set up for. If you go for Shiaki the Echo, it's just a unit that's fast. You don't even need any accuracy on it. So it's just HP, speedy, and tanky. Super easy to build unit as well. And I think for a lot of these units, it's somewhat straightforward. Like if you really want to land your skills, you're going to be looking at probably a double accuracy in the modules on the right side. Otherwise, it's just more HP and those kind of things. And once again, do really focus on your shells because you can see the difference. An epic shell is already on a 30 speed, whereas a unique shell maxed out is on a 20 speed. The mythic shells, I'm thinking they're also around 30-ish, but they do have a chance to get a higher roll in this. And this part is also pretty important because they can get like a mythic roll, which is the red color. And then I think you can get upwards of like 20 speed, which is really insane. Like for the amount, this just simply adds you another 20 speed or something like that. So that's really insane. Definitely will be focusing on that. And that's pretty much my progression thus far. As mentioned, I haven't really been doing any Doki Doki Teramaton or Aurora just yet. I will be going very hard on the Nana Nico the moment I can clear Nana Nico or just hit the level 35, then I'm pretty sure I can right away clear it. It's not that hard of a stage, especially with Marvel. Marvel just makes that whole thing like you do more damage the moment she's more or she has less speed. So it makes life very easy with a Marvel. Team that I would recommend if you don't have a Marvel would probably looking something along the lines, let's say full free-to-play style. This being gone, so you would need your defense breaker over here, and then you probably want to go for a buffer, and I think a good buffer would be a Shiaki the Echo is wrong element, but I think you can kind of get away with that because you just make her full tank and it's totally fine. If you no longer have your Leon, then it's definitely also an option to put the thing in here. He will definitely do fine. If you use a Rosa in this slot, and it's not for the Whitney boss, but it's for the Nikonana boss, which most people are going to anytime soon. Also for this stage, you can probably do a team like this. It's probably fine. Only thing you have to keep in mind with the thing in waves where you hit the side crystals a lot is that his passive might go on one of the sides, or I call it side crystals because of Summoner's War, but it might hit on one of the side adds because they're lower HP than this main body itself. So that's kind of something you have to keep in mind, that you have to make sure that the main character that you're trying to hit is also the lowest HP. How can you kind of force that in? Well, you have a few shells that do a follow-up attack on the main target that you're hitting. So in the case of Twilight Knight, it kind of does that. But it would be best if you do that, for example, with a White Fang, because a White Fang does actually do a proper hard damage hit on that itself. So in that case, if you were to put your armor breaker on a White Fang, you do force more damage into that unit, and therefore you will actually have more damage. So therefore the thing is also landing on the proper target. And White Fang, this one for all of your damage dealers, this is probably one of the best ones for damage dealers. Like, sure, you're gonna get the whole more mythical shells out there, but this is most likely the best one for your damage dealers right away. So you probably want to be building 2 of those. So my plan is I will get 2 White Fangs, I will get 1 Artisan, I will get, I think, 3 Gigabytes, and I will get 1 Alicorn, maybe 2. And yeah, I think 1 at first, maybe 2 Gigabytes as first as well. Definitely 2 White Fangs, because I will definitely be using those. And with that, I'm pretty sure that all of the training data that I have over here, well, I still can recycle a lot of those, but you don't get that much from recycling. But all of the training data that I over here, the 4 mil, it's probably going to be all gone. Even before I leave Nana Nico, it's all gone. I also have a lot of Etheria coins. Might you ask, like, why do you get so much Etheria coins? It's simply, I don't really up my modules that much. And if you don't up your modules much, that's why you get a lot of them. Like, if you look over here, these are all the modules that I upped on the slot 1. Like, I have a whole pile of them, and I just simply did not up much. And if you don't up much, especially if you don't plus 15 much, like, she is the only one that has some plus 15ers. Then you save a lot of Etheria coins. And how can I still clear all of the dungeons? Well, Lily does help a lot. These 2 I wasn't even using yet before, so these 2 are not really counting, but Lily does help out a lot. Close, that some people say is also helping out a lot. It's okay, but Grey kind of does her job as well, especially because Grey, you probably put some skillets in, and Close, I'm not going to put any skillets in anytime soon. And then, of course, the Marvel is just working out really well. And Leon, so far, is still doing good. Might you ask, are you going to reset Leon? Yeah, I will be resetting Leon for Messiah. The only thing that I don't do it for yet is because she actually has some skill-ups that will be good to use. The moment I pull out this material right now, I will get back the fire material, of the red element material, and I cannot throw that in Messiah. So I think that she with 2 skill-ups in here probably does do a little bit more value against some of the dungeons that I'm doing. Plus also the pushback does help out for a fair bit. So I'll keep that. But the moment I pull out the red material, I put it either in like Biotin, Hell Kit, or Mia or something. I think that those are the targets that go for it. The light one, I don't really farm yet because the GP outpost on light is really a shitty dungeon. Like, this is by far the most annoying one out there. You probably have noticed it as well. These things do push you back. Messiah gives you a big one-shot. So before Friday, I would have to get a proper team in because I do want to farm a lot of that light as well. Because as mentioned, I do have that Messiah and I do have a Mio that I want to be focusing on. So I will have to farm that all the time, or not all the time, a decent amount as well, because I think she will be really good for Doki Doki. Also with this, having the bunch of LDs, I think I can use these 4 together for pretty much most dungeons. So my Doki Doki team will be Lily plus Messiah plus Heinrich plus Mio plus probably Ling Lo. In the case of Terra Matan, Mio of course gets removed, but I can still use these 3 together with probably some kind of buffer. I'm thinking about pulling Freya right now because Freya is actually pretty good. In the case of Aurora, I could go for Biotin. I could maybe Biotin on both of them. I'm not really 100% sure if I want to go for that, but that's definitely an option as well. And then if I want to add in another damage dealer, well, in the case of Aurora, I also have to add in the Linglo because of the healing. And in the case of Terra Matan, I could also add in something like, I think I would go for the Thing. I do have Victor pretty high up. I think Victor is maxed right now, which is definitely good. But I think I'm pretty far on the Thing as well, which is also maxed. I did do a little bit of low wailings, and therefore you get these up. So, my The Thing and Victor are maxed, so I think I will build at the Thing. And if he moves after Messiah, most likely he will have the right target on the mid-boss to do a lot of damage on that mid-boss. If that's not really the case, I will try it out before I build it. Then I would say maybe Victor does better because of the Messiah AoE. I'm not 100% sure yet how that will work. Or I actually make the Thing move before or something like that. Probably the Thing will move before because I do think he might end up with more damage than Messiah altogether. But we shall see. I'm not sure if Messiah is one of those things that is going to be good for everything and then still clears everything, or that I have to go more focused on, like, okay, I actually need to build a Victor plus the Thing, and then I will actually be able to clear the things. I'm not 100% sure about that just yet, but that's kind of the idea what I've been doing. That's also my recap of the first 4 days. I will, of course, be streaming later today, so if you want to check me out, Twitch channel or here live on the YouTube channel. I'm hoping to hit level 35. I think we will hit level 35 because we got 120 stability over here. We're going to get another 1,000. We're going to get another 100 from leveling up. And I think the next level is probably another 600, and we just need like a 410 for this level. So I think we might just hit the edge of the next level so we can get the first few steps into Nikonana, but hard Nikonana farming will be the day after tomorrow. So, or not the day after tomorrow, will be tomorrow. Also, we can see some people are already level 38, which is definitely insane. They have been using all of those materials over here. It feels really stagnating for not using those. But the moment we have the double drop mainly on the outpost, I think I won't go that hard on the double drop on the Animus EXP. I will use my normal stability on the Animus EXP just to get a bunch of levels in, but I won't go super hard on it. Because I think making the 6-star is really worth it, but leveling afterwards, you probably do notice it. Wait, can we show that over here? Do we have some upgrades? Yeah, we do have some upgrades. I kind of want to see this one. So, for example, if we upgrade this, do we see the level improvement? Nope. Okay, so we're not going to do that. But I noticed, like, okay, I add like 30 levels and it goes like 926 to 950 or something. Like, it feels really not that much. So the next star feels very useful. But the max leveling within the star feels not that crazy. So that is something that I will keep in mind, that I try to get my whole team to the 6-star. But then leveling afterwards, I don't care as much. Plus, in here, you do also get the materials for making the next 6-star. So that will help out a little bit on the double EXP. I will definitely, on the double drop, do this a lot for the normal ones. But I don't think I will be using any of those during that. I will be using all of that during the GP outpost, because there's a lot of things I want to skill up. And I just want to prepare a lot more material that if I get Letices later, I already have the material and I don't have to go back farming on that. And then I probably have a pretty solid account that the next day I can start farming a lot of module drops on the module drop day double. And then I think early on it will be mainly focusing on trying to get some proper drops from Aurora, Bulwark, and that kind of stuff. Because I think Bulwark early on is definitely really strong, because that's where a lot of people are not going to have immunity yet. If you have immunity, you start beating them. Trust me on that one. If you have immunity and they don't, they're going to have a bad day, because they go in with their Marvel and it's like, oh, skill 3 does nothing. GG. So something like that. Either out, that's it for this video. Rambling on and yapping for long enough. If you did enjoy the yapping over here, subscribe to the channel, like the video, you know where to find me, and see you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.